All right. I'm good. All right. Welcome back to another podcast, season 3, episode 3. We have the guest, Beer God Apostle, and you're also your co-host again, Almost Famous. So welcome again. All right. So we started the podcast with kind of like a introduction to our guest. So Beer, give us the 401. What do you do? All the fun jazz, maybe something fun we don't know about you to get to know you. So go ahead.
Sure, thanks. I have a day job, but my passion for sure is streaming. I've been trying to get into it and grow and develop for a couple years now. So I'm finally getting a little traction. Thanks for having me today, both you guys.
Thank you.
And primarily stream Call of Duty. I'm not like a cracked out, 12-year-old, but I'm more into laughs and giggles. It's like feel like Dr. Disrespect and Z-Laner is a duo. I'm not the Z-Laner of the group. I'm the Dr. Disrespect. I'm there for the comic relief and the color commentary and the good times. So that's my point of view.
Indeed.
And at least I can control that.
I can control that. So. Oh wait, do you have the fact you can kind of kick us off about you that we don't know? Or did you give one? I don't know if you did. Can't tell you.
Oh, a little bit about something that you might not know about me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll give you kind of the origin story of my name, of the handle Beer God Apostle. So back in college and after college, if you guys are familiar with the little game of beer pong, throwing the ping pong balls into the cups.
Familiar?
My best friend and I were a team. We needed a team name, so we said we're the Beer God Apostles. So there's another one out there in the world, in the wild, not just me.
Oh, just as you? Wait, does it go by the same moniker or no?
No, he's moved on.
I'm
still there.
Still there. All right.
But no, we used to play. It is kind of a funny story about that. Is we ended up I get into my buddies like, you should play Warzone, and then a few years later I'm streaming it. So I tend to when I get into something, I get in all the way. So we got into beer pong, and then ended up meeting the network of other beer pong people who were really into it. And one of them was this guy in Vermont, and his little vision was he wanted to have a national championship because there was none. And so he wanted to have a national championship tournament. And so he got some funding from Bud Light and put together this series of 16 tournaments across the country, and the top 2 teams from each would advance to a national championship in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And the deal was, if you made it, if you won the national championship, the prize was you'd get to go on the Jimmy Kimmel live show and play a game of Beirut or beer pong against Jimmy Kimmel and Snoop Dogg.
Wow.
How close did you get?
Well, my buddy and I knew this guy, so I helped organize the tournament in my hometown here in upstate New York, and we lost. So then we went to my buddy's, where he was in Connecticut. It was in Hartford, and there were 116 teams in the tournament, and we won it. So we said, all right, we'll bite the bullet and pay our own way and fly out to Vegas for a drunken weekend of semi-pro beer pong.
Nice.
And we ended up making it to the finals, and it came down to the last couple cups. And so they have a little rule where if the other team hits your cup, you get one shot to answer for a rebuttal. And so I got all quiet, and there's 100 drunken people hovering over me, and I shoot it and I make it. So I was overtime. And then we ended up losing in overtime. But still, we got to the final 2.
Oh, wow.
That's really good.
Yeah. And then it made me feel a little bit better because they got bumped from Jimmy Kimmel, so they never got on.
Man.
I know the audacity. So I didn't end up missing out on the opportunity to play a game of beer pong with Snoop Dogg and Jimmy Kimmel, which would have been awesome. But follow up to that, I had at the time, I don't anymore, I had a little website for my buddies and I to keep track of the beer pong, and there wasn't much in the way of websites for beer pong out there. So a year after that, Rolling Stone magazine, which was a bigger deal then, than it is now, wanted to do a story on beer pong, and they reached out to me. So they interviewed me when they did a story.
Nice.
I was in Rolling Stone magazine talking about beer pong, and it was highlight of my youth.
Wait, how long ago was this? Just curiosity now. Can you say that?
That was probably 18 years ago.
Oh, 18 years ago. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, there you go. There's a question. Bobby, is it an appropriate question? If it's not, I'm going to keep moving on. What's your question, Bobby? Because I see him in chat.
Yeah.
Give him a minute.
Nice
While he types it out. Yeah. But all right. But once he types the question out, we'll ask. But all right, cool. That's good. I would not have guessed that. But I guess that's the origin of the username and how that kind of moniker.
It's
all
unique
right.
enough. It's unique enough where it's always available. It's nice.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So the question
True.
is, that's true. If you could swap lives of any person for a day, who would it be and what would you do? Beer.
Oh, if I could switch into the lives of anybody else for a day, who would it be?
Oh God. This is the kind of question you should have given me a heads up on, sir.
No, I don't. It just came up. This is a viewer question. I don't know these questions.
It's like part, because so I went to college and lived in the Boston area for a few years, and so before that, like growing up here, sports isn't like pro sports isn't really that big a deal because there's no one team here. Like where we are in upstate New York, you're equidistant from like Buffalo, really Philly, New York City, so it's like it's just diluted. But when I went to college and lived in Boston for a few years, it's not diluted. It's like hardcore intense. So I got sucked into the Boston sports vortex. Maybe like Tom Brady for a day.
Oh, Tom Brady for a day.
Like, he's just like walking royalty. He would have a great life. I don't know.
Isn't he like? I think there's a controversy happening with him right now.
Oh, there were. Not anymore. He's retired.
He's retired now,
No,
right? Yeah.
I think there is. I think there are some people like trying to sue him because of the way he signed some memorabilia.
Really? I
don't know. Somebody in chat can fact check me, but basically he was like really sloppy with the signature, and like the signatures have to be authenticated, right, for it to actually be something. And he signed it so poorly. My understanding so far is that he signed it so poorly that the signature can't be authenticated. So he ruined like thousands of dollars worth of merch that people had paid for, and then like also they had thousands of dollars to go to this like meet and greet thing.
Right. Interesting.
And so I'm pretty sure I saw that was like, I'm pretty sure that's a current thing. Somebody can fact check me though.
It's a lot of pressure to get your signature right.
Authenticated. Yeah. That is true. And there's a lot of signing you do too. And I think people would not like
I might have some of the details a little bit off because like I kind of like skimmed the article. I was on my lunch break. It popped up on the feed. I was like, the heck?
Gotcha.
So
well, I don't know, Joe. Maybe we'll just throw this as a global viewer AMA. So, in terms of who I would switch for a day, I'm not sure. The only thing that comes to mind, I think, was probably because I'm a big fan of Teslas, and I guess what Tesla is involved with the cars and the models, maybe Elon Musk. But I don't know if I really want to be Musk for a day, just to see what he'll be doing, and maybe just to see what his life's like and what he does.
Funny Tesla tie-in. We'll call him Your God Apostle 2, the other one out there in the wild.
The other one there, yeah.
He had lived in Reno, Nevada, and he had a job where he was the manager of the warehouse at the Gigafactory for Tesla.
Oh, okay.
And he has a Tesla now. And when he came to visit me, we went golfing, and he had too much to drink, so I drove his Tesla home, which was nice.
Right.
It was nice.
Gotcha. I don't know.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, Tesla's pretty nice. Oh, okay. There's a thing. Let's see. Tom Brady's autographs ruined Holy Grail. Yep, you're right. There's a controversy on it right now. So
wait, somebody got back to you?
Yes, someone just got back to me. Yeah.
Vindicated.
You're vindicated, so you are correct.
Look, I love when I'm correct, okay?
This is just updated 2 days ago. Yeah, so it's pretty recent. Definitely is pretty recent. All right. But Faye, do you have I know this is kind of a spot question, but what comes to your head if you could switch to someone for a day?
Oh.
I was never good on the spot. Sorry.
Okay, one, I don't do well on the spot. Also, I think my answer is really, really boring. Because, like, first off, I don't know famous people's names or anything like that. I don't care about famous people. So, like, all of those are completely off the table. The only thing I can think of, like, I have a question for the stipulations of your question. If I'm switching places, does anything that I do to their life stay after?
Okay, Poppy.
That determines my answer.
Like a quantum leap scenario.
Oh yeah, probably.
Do I get to actually inhabit like an actual 24 hours where I can like do things? Because
so he says yes. So go ahead.
Yes. I'm going to pick whoever the richest person on the planet is, and I'm going to bankrupt them.
No. Some dude in Dubai somewhere.
Yeah, who knows? Well, okay, well, there you go. They just vicious and just not for enjoyment, just like you rich person, take you down many pegs to your bankrupt. All right. So now we move on to kind of the host recap. So where you been? What you been up to? Any new updates for the podcast? You want me to go first? You want me, Faye? Are you up for it?
Your podcast, you go first.
First, okay. All right. So, I think I guess it is literally. I started at the beginning of the month. Well, actually, no. Before the last podcast, I didn't start yet. So I started a job. The job is going well. And literally, the reason I say it's going well because it's working with the same software and stuff I worked with maybe 3 years ago. So it's kind of like still fresh. No, not necessarily fresh, but it's like I know this stuff and it's not that hard. And like it's like going from sabbatical from a job and then coming back to it, but it's not the same job. And it's on the other side of the fence. So job is going good. And it's like, describe it literally, it's like, I think Beer will probably kind of understand this kind of situation where you work for like the hospital or the vendor, and I'm working for the entity rather than the people you go for technical, support. So like it's not as stressful. Let's put it that way. It's more kind of like I tell someone, all right, figure out what went wrong. Let me know what we did wrong. Let me know what we need to not do. And then it's not me. I have to not figure this out. So someone else has to figure that out. So it's pretty good. And then the fun part is like the couple of people that I know that I used to work with, they already know me. So they already know my work style. So they know that I'm a good, confident worker or capable worker. And they don't want to overwhelm me, but they're like, they're going to use me to the best of their potential because for them it's literally like, I guess, getting someone that is already experienced in their field and, like we don't have to train you from scratch. So, we can just get you in there and start doing it and you're not going to be nervous or scared at all, which is probably the case. So yeah, that's the update. So job is going good. And I'm back in the saddle per se. It's not like how you describe it. It's not like, yeah, it's more of a safe, like, now going forward. So yeah, there you go. All right, Faye, what's your update?
Okay. When was the last time we did the podcast?
That was like a month ago, like March, end of March.
Okay, so it was like actually sometimes we've done it like at the very first week, and I was trying to remember. So for anybody who doesn't know this already, I am a creature of habit, so I very rarely have anything interesting to talk about during the update area. But I did get to go see the eclipse, and that was super cool. I was kind of bummed because I'm down here in Texas, and it was just all clouds. So I didn't get to really like watch it happen because the cloud coverage. But we did get to experience the total going dark thing, and I went with a group of like, I think there was like 11 of us total. I'd have to do the math and I don't want to do that right now. There was a lot of us, and we were all staying in this house that was like on top of a mountain basically. It was the highest house like I could see for miles. It was so cool. And like we could overlook the town like down below. Someone started setting off fireworks after the eclipse happened, and it went dark, and that was kind of cool because we were above where the fireworks were going off.
Oh wow.
Oh nice.
Yeah, like we were up there. I've got a few pictures of like what the view looked like. So like when it was daytime, it was disrespectful, honestly, disrespectful. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, clear skies, right. Beautiful. Sunday or Monday when the eclipse happened, nothing but clouds. So disrespectful.
Yeah, where I'm in upstate New York, we weren't in the path, but we were like, an hour and a half away. So it was like gonna be like 96% or something. And it was the same thing. It was like blue sky day before, day after. That day, 100% overcast. Couldn't see anything. It just got dark.
It was awful.
We had
it was so bad because there's apparently some really cool things you can see with when a full eclipse is happening.
Right.
Like
yeah, we had,
someone said. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. With the glasses, yeah, I could see like the line just period out from the eclipse and like slowly covered. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Like apparently during an eclipse, like right before it goes fully dark, when you start seeing like shadow banding on the ground, you also can experience what color blindness is like, because your eyes stop being able to tell the difference between red and green during that time. Apparently, I didn't get to experience this. I don't know if it's true. If anybody else is in a path, I think the next eclipse is full eclipse that's going to be over land is going to be somewhere in Europe next year.
Okay.
So, if anybody's in Europe next year and wants to test this for me and like send me video, because I didn't get to experience this for myself. Yeah, it was cool, and I had fun, and we did lots of like, it was a 3-day trip. Like we made it an event, so there was like board games and video games, and like all my friends are nerds, so it's great.
There you go. All right, so that's another recap and updates. All right, so first topic. So apologies for the topics. I kind of like went all over the place, so like it's like from left field to right field. But the first topic, because I didn't know, Beer and I were talking Faye before. I was like, Beer, what was you interested in? He's like, I know bowling, but that was the only thing I could remember, and I forgot to actually incorporate maybe a bowling question. So maybe an AMA question coming around the way about bowling. But yeah, so the first one's about Marvel. So Marvel has been stretched out. There's like, they've been going so many movies, so many films. The most recent incarnation is going to be Deadpool and Wolverine. That's coming out and Hugh Jackman is coming back to play Wolverine, right? So I'm assuming I'm a big Marvel fan. I don't know you guys, and I think Faye already told me not really following Marvel. Beer, how's your Marvel knowledge per se?
I don't know. I mean, I could come at you from the perspective of somebody who's not the expert, and that could be fun.
Okay.
So like, I know that those guys, the actors, are good buddies in real life. Is that what this project was born out of, or in the lore, is there really a Deadpool versus Wolverine storyline?
Possibly there is one, but I think just like, I guess
they just want to work together.
For Bird, then Hugh Jackman just want to work together, and like Hugh Jackman was definitely hanged up the claws per se, or the last movie he did, which was way back in the day. But yeah. So like, I think this is, it's not necessarily just like a Marvel thing, but just like for like characters reprising their old roles, because based on Hugh Jackson's age when X-Men came out, when he did all these movies, he's coming back to do the same role again, right? So like, just kind of spin into that a little bit, and so because the other thing about future Marvel movies is that they're going to start spinning in the X-Men and Fantastic Four, which are both Marvel properties, but they were owned by Fox, but now Marvel can actually use those characters in the film. So they're going to probably, I don't know what the progress of that is, but I'm going to spin this a little bit to a different direction now of, would you like to see someone who's played a character, maybe not recently, like come back and play a role? Could be any actor, any genre per se, but because like, I feel like, how to describe it? Hugh Jackman is very good at Wolverine. I couldn't picture anyone else as Wolverine to play him. Like a younger version, no. Like some other character that looked like him, no. So, do you guys have a thought of anyone who would be able to come back to an iconic role that they haven't been in for ages and play it? Like, I don't know. Like the other example I could think of is Ghostbusters. Like, hey, oh, there goes. I'll read for a second. Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters, where they kind of like reprise their role as, and then it's kind of interesting when I'm watching that movie. Bill Murray got cheers because everyone's like, Bill Murray's like, the man like comes on the screen, plays his old role. But yeah, you guys any idea of people that? I think that's my stance on where I was kind of spinning that question, where it's like someone coming back to play an iconic role after years. Any ideas? One of you? Give you guys a pause a second. Long pause. No.
I mean, no. I don't know. All I know is like I kind of like Deadpool just because it's like he's like the anti-hero. He's like doesn't fit the mold. It's like he's just there like just making hilarious jokes and just totally like like not following the rules of what you're supposed to be doing as far as superheroes go. So I respect that.
Yeah. Well, for everyone's who's listening, just a sense of how that progressed. Oh, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Okay, oh there you go. But it's like the multiverse, so they're gonna kind of spin off. So that's why Hugh Jackman can't come back. He's not the same Wolverine. So like, and it's like TV. So like a lot of Disney things have kind of gone through the whole like multiverse of timelines and everything. So that's like it. But it's interesting to see. It's coming out soon, so hopefully we'll see how that goes from there. But yeah. All right. Well, topic not that I was going to expand for, but let's move forward from there. So for an AMA question here, I kind of put you second, so you know what AMAs are, right? Yeah, you like AMA questions, what they stand for?
Yeah.
Ask me anything? Okay. All right, so you're down for it? Okay. So question is for, I guess, are you, okay, maybe because bowling, bowling question. Are you a competitive bowler? Because you say you're in a league, right? So can you expand on, are you in a league or no? Are you just bowl?
Yeah. I'm basically I'm a competitive everything. So it's like if there's anything keeping score, like I'm all in. But for this, it's like my next door neighbor. It's her father's like memorial league, and so she's like I think the top lady bowler in the area, and she's really nice. And she's like, hey, do you want to join bowling league? And I'm like, oh man, it's like I used to bowl like 10 years ago, but I don't bowl anymore. But so I said sure, and I show up, and it's like a bunch of like hardcore bowlers. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's a long season. It's 34 weeks. That's a lot of weeks.
Dang.
Yeah, that's a lot of weeks.
That's more than half the year.
I know. Believe me, it tends to drag on. But I don't know. It's fun. It's like riding a bike, and it came back. And then in December, out of nowhere, I bowled a 300 game, which I never thought I would in my life. So that was awesome.
Wow.
It's like strike every time, and it's the best you
That's
can do.
good.
And then like all these people were coming up to me, like giving me hugs. Some girl I'd never met before, like jumped up on me and hugged me. People are buying me shots. I'm like, this is great. Yeah. They put my name on the wall. So it was a whole thing. I'll never do that again. Just the way it goes. But it's been fun. I'm not I don't even consider myself like a bowler. You know what I mean? I'm just like helping her out in her league. But it's fun to do. I'm just really competitive. Anything like I would also play I played a lot of tennis growing up, and played high school tennis, and then as an adult, there's same thing, adult leagues. So I got really into that. Again, getting really into things where I had like 7 or 8 different teams of different in different leagues, and I'm running them all, and it was a lot. But that was that phase.
Gotcha.
Did a lot of that, and that was kind of cool. That's like you'd win your little league here, or you'd try to win your league in your town, and then it's almost like a little league World Series. The way that works, it's like, so if you win here, then you play the winner of like Syracuse, and if you beat them, then you play like Rochester and Buffalo, and you keep going and going and going until eventually it'd be a national championship. Never got there. But again, it's just pure competition. Now it's like Call of Duty is like just a constant IV drip of competition. Like every game's a competition, everything's a competition. So that kind of satisfies that itch for me now.
Oh, there you go. Is that Poppy's asking about a sandbagger? Is that like a bowling term, or is that you say a
sandbagger is so like in bowling it's like you're almost bowling against your own average. So like if I'm showing up to bowl you, we both bowl, and then based on what my average is, if my average is low, like 120 or something, I'd have like a lot more pins added as a handicap to make the final score. So what some people who are jerks would do is if it is a competition that culminates like in an end of the year tournament, so during the regular season you kind of bowl bad on purpose, so you get a big handicap, and then you really try your best at the end, and you like take advantage of the system. So that's what a sandbagger would be. No, I'm not a sandbagger.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Hey, do you have any kind of, I don't know if you have any sports related or competition or anything that you did as a kid? Like anything sports related? I don't know. I'm just curious if you did.
Wait, were you talking to me?
Yeah. I'm talking to you. Yes.
I haven't done sports since I was very little. I am not allowed to play sports anymore. Medical reasons.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you like got
so like I'm actually I haven't been allowed to play sports since I was 9 years old.
Oh wow. Okay. Did not know that.
Yeah. I thought I've told you about this, Ty.
Did you? I don't know if this ever came up.
I mean, I don't mind telling your community. I just don't want to turn this into like a sob story thing. But like I was in a car accident when I was a kid and shattered my skull. I'm not allowed to play sports. If I get hit in the head, it might kill me.
Gotcha.
So
I would remember this.
Before that, I played like, I mean,
right,
like remember 9, but I used to play like. Oh.
Cat wants out of the build.
Poor kitty. Release the kitty cat. But yeah, like I was very active before that. I played like softball. I would play football with the boys. Did not flag football. I was like full contact. Like I'll tackle you. Like you better tackle me because I'll tackle you. And yeah, then that happened, and you know, yeah, I'm not allowed to do anything anymore. They were like, well, they're like, if you want to keep playing softball, you have to wear a helmet in the outfield. And I'm like, I won't be able to see the ball if I do that. And they're like, well, that's the conditions. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I can't play.
I did not know this. I don't think this ever came up or you ever talked about it.
I could have sworn that I've told you about this before. Oh,
I don't know. Selective memory. I have no idea. Okay, well, there you go. Did not know that.
It sucks. I loved sports.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten anything competitive, per se, sports-wise. No, not really. I think I was one of those that's never...
I get competitive with board games, with anything. You know.
I'm not really competitive with anything anymore, so
yeah.
Now it works out. I'm like, can we do co-op? I don't want to PvP anything. I want to PvE everything.
Nice.
Let's be friends.
Indeed.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. That's true. I mean, like, in terms of just like games, I can see that kind of competitive. But anything from younger, no. I mean, we did play. I remember doing a lot of like touch football because we were in Philadelphia, so. The only thing I remember about that is like it's a Catholic school, so it's like basically like a concrete thing. So like you don't want to tackle people somewhere on concrete and fall and break. So I think I actually did fall once. So like I had chipped 2 teeth when I fell headfirst into concrete. I don't remember how or why.
Oh no!
But it was once I was a kid, so it was very, very, very many years ago at this point. So. But yeah, I don't think I've been competitive, but I don't know. I was curious to see a beer because I heard bowling, so I just wanted to expand on bowling and see where your competitiveness expand, and it makes sense why, because you know Warzone also is very competitive, so you definitely want to make sure you're competitive there also, for sure. All right, so that's our AMA. Our next topic was kind of like another adaptation. So I don't know if you guys seen or either played Fallout, seen Fallout. Seen it on Amazon. They adapted it, just a new video game adaptation to the small screen. Like Last of Us did their adaptation to it. Resident Evil has done adaptations to movies, but I'm not going to comment on those because some of them are really, really, really terrible. Have you guys either seen it or heard of it? Please tell me you have, because I keep coming to these topics and you're like, no.
Well, you'd be a little. I haven't seen it, so I'll just full disclosure. But I've heard about it, obviously, and I played Fallout, so I should see it. Everybody I've talked to who's watched it has great things to say about it. I saw it got renewed for a 2nd season.
You did.
So I have a question on that. Is it the people that you've talked to that have liked it? Are they people who have played the games?
I've talked to like 3 people. 2 I know played the games. The 3rd, I don't know if she did. I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't heard anything either way, but I'm like, there's usually when you have an adaptation like this, you have a divide between people who have played and people who hadn't. Like I'm thinking of the Silent Hill movie. When it came out, there was like a huge divide between people who had played and who hadn't played Silent Hill and if they liked the movie.
Seems like people would get upset about if it's like one of 2 things happens, if it's poorly made or if it doesn't follow the storyline. You know, as long as it's
Which
like well
was
made.
The complaint in the Silent Hill movie is that it didn't follow the storyline.
Like The Last of Us, I thought that was great. I loved it. I thought it followed the storyline pretty much, you know, took some liberties, but and it was very well made. I was a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was just curious. I haven't heard anything either way. I plan to watch it, but I only just became aware of its existence like 2 days ago.
Oh, really?
Almost the same for me. Like,
I came someone across on Amazon, I think, as a trailer. I was like, it's on. No, actually, no. I saw the movie first, saw the trailer, and I was like, I'm just like, we're gonna watch it. And like, it's on Amazon. It's not gonna be in the movies, so it's on Amazon. But yeah, like I feel like the adaptation, like the only thing that wouldn't necessarily spoil anything, you guys are aware of the power suit, the armor that they used in Fallout.
Yeah.
So the portrayal of that in the adaptation, I feel like is very, very accurate to like how the person gets in and everything, and how it looks like when they walk around. So I feel like they did that pretty well. And I think any adaptation, you're correct. Like if they don't follow the story line, it kind of would fall flat. Because like it needs to be kind of consistent on that. And I'm not sure because I not remember this. I played Fallout, but the only thing I kind of remember with Fallout is kind of like the interface, how the UI worked, where fighting and such, and how to get the quests and talking to people. So, but I think the storyline, I feel like it's still. Someone asked me this, is kind of do lore, and I think it kind of does go back into the lore slightly, but also the fact that it's a TV series, they don't want to throw your cards on the table, first season, because it's only 8 episodes. So I feel like it's a good adaptation.
And not to hijack the agenda, but it's a little similar is The Witcher. I don't know if you're a fan of that show or game, but I think that's why Henry Cavill left, is because the writers were starting to deviate from the original storyline. I believe that came out.
Oh, okay.
So my understanding is he did not leave so much as was forced out, because the writers were deviating and he was trying to be like, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. And so they're like, well, then leave. But yeah, he did not want to leave.
There you go.
But I don't foresee that season doing very well, because a lot of people were only watching because of him.
And didn't they just come out and say it was going to be the last season anyway? I think they did.
Well, I think they kind of knew at that point that, like, because as soon as it was announced that he was not going to be the Witcher anymore, everyone was up in arms. So, like, it would make sense for them to just be like, yeah, this will be the last one, because they already know the ratings are not going to be good, but they've already signed contracts with people, so they kind of have to do the thing.
Well, speaking of Henry Cavill, I heard they're going to do a reboot of Highlander, the movie, and he's going to be the guy. I think that's pretty cool. I can see that working.
That will be amazing.
Yes.
Oh, Highlander is classic. I grew up on Highlander, even the TV show. It's like just watching the TV show. There'd be one, yeah, exactly. But yeah, but I guess in terms of like adaptations, like, is it? I think we always answered the question. Literally, if it's not following the story, it's not going to work. So like, they have to stick to the original material and kind of go through there. But is this a new genre you think now? Because like I feel like with Fallout and Last of Us, like they're going to start kind of like coining another video game series to kind of make it into like a live action.
I think anytime something is crazy successful like The Last of Us, there's just going to be a lot of copycats out there. Whether or not they're equally as successful, I don't know, but I think it'll have a shot for a few years and have a run.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be something for a few years. I think recently, and by recently, like I mean like in the last 5-ish years, I think Hollywood realized that nerds have money, and nerds will spend lots of money on the things that they were obsessed with. So I think we're going to be seeing probably at least a few more adaptations of like some of the more popular games.
Right. It kind of leads me into the next question. Do you have an idea of which one, or would you figure what would you want to see possibly adapted? If something really are down more close to your heart, or something that you want to see? I'm trying to think. It's very hard because like things are already covered. Like what else can be done?
I feel like the ones that have been out there have been kind of serious and dark, right? Like let's get something whimsical and stupid. I know like SNL did a parody on like Mario related stuff. I don't know, something light and fluffy. Doesn't have to be all zombies and death and
zombies death. True. So it's Mario related. Oh. Could be, yeah. I can see it.
So there's this trend that has, if you look at like media and what comes out, and then like look at the economic state at that time, whenever we're in a recession, everything that comes out is going to be like darker and somber and more serious and all of that stuff. And you only get like the light and bubbly stuff when like we're on the upswing and out of the recession. So I don't think anything like I know, Beer, that you would like that, but like for the most people, I don't think it would be very popular. I don't think it would do very well if it came out light and fluffy right now.
Sure.
Just because of that trend. I think they would end up. I think they would take like something. I'm just thinking like they would take a Stardew Valley game and turn it into like this like
that would be
ultra emotional thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they could do light and just whimsical right now. I think all of the Hollywood people would turn it into something, whether or not the base game was that.
It's all post-apocalyptic.
Land.
Sure.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, I'm staring at my thing, but I know Alan Wake. Because Alan Wake, I feel like it's like a
Alan Wake would do so well right now.
I know, because like the way it looks like. Have you ever heard of Alan Wake, Beer, at all? That game?
No.
All right. Hey, you want to kind of give it just kind of a just summary for everybody.
I don't want to spoil anything. It's like it's a third-person horror game with puzzles and shooter elements. But you are a writer, I believe. Yeah, you're a writer, and you're going to this town to kind of like your wife went missing when y'all went on a vacation here like a year before, and you're now going back to the town to try to find her. I believe was the storyline. It's been a year. It was good. The second one came out this year, and I need to catch back up on it because I have the memory of a goldfish.
Well, my 12-year-old wanted to see Five Nights at Freddy's, and I watched him play the game, and I'm thinking, how are you gonna make a movie out of this? But you know what? It was all right. It did all right. We enjoyed ourselves.
I mean, there's a whole lore built around that series now.
That's what he was yeah, there's all
like they have books. They sell them at Walmart.
Yep, we've got those.
Yep.
So there's apparently plenty of material to make a movie out of.
Well, for that, definitely for sure. I don't know. There's still. Ooh, this might be interesting to do, and I know that this ages me not, but the cartoon series, or I guess I'm kind of spanning from cartoons also. Maybe it's like something that could go into this genre. And I think, was Voltron ever a game? I don't think it was. It could have been. You guys remember Voltron by chance?
Yeah, I love Voltron when I was a kid. Loved it.
Yeah. So it was like a cartoon show about robot lions forming into a big robot. But with that actually, I don't know, I could see it. Like, there's been so many incarnations from an animated standpoint just to see it as
live action.
Yeah, live action would be very interesting to see what they could pull it off.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I'll find the head.
For that, there you go. You know, it's the line. But yeah, I was like, things like that. That I would like to see turned into. But then I'm looking at the list that we kind of pulled in. So let's say Fallout has been up there, but then going through. Oh wait, did I have another link? I thought I put another link in there. Hold on. Where was my other link? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know why it's weird. Maybe the browser's being weird. But yeah. Okay, so there's other adaptations, right? I think I had another link for adaptations. Oh wait, no, it's musical episodes. Never mind. But well, that goes on to our next topic then. Not musical yet, but Beer, do you have an AMA question?
Oh, you mean like for you?
Yeah, for us, or yeah. First question.
Come back to me. Or am I last?
No, we can look. You're right, Faye. Let me try switching the mic.
I do have a question, for once this week, so I can go if you need more time.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where's my stream together gone?
I wanted to know what's y'all's comfort show and why is it your comfort show?
Alright, I'm trying to fix the mic for you guys. Okay, find it. There, you have one?
Yeah, let us know when you're good.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Oh,
comfort show. I don't know, like I watch it, like I don't necessarily have one that I watch for comfort. I end up watching some of the lame shows in the morning when I'm getting ready for work, like Good Morning Football, which is not like kind of stuff we're talking about.
Okay, so let me clarify when I say comfort show, because it's not always like when I say comfort show, I don't mean like this thing brings me comfort so much as this is a show I come back to over and over again because I like the familiarity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then it's sad when your comfort show ends and it's done.
Well, that's when you just start back over at season 1, episode 1.
A lot of people, I don't know. I like to watch it once and I'm done. I walk away.
Oh, okay. That's crazy to me.
I love The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Again, over. But I don't know. I like this stuff. I don't know. For some reason, maybe it's just I like to be cruel to myself, but it's like I'm always on the edge of my seat. It's like super suspenseful and intense. It's not just like something you watch in the background.
We are two very different beasts. Like,
makes for good conversation, I guess.
Like, I don't think we could be more different if we tried. I tend to go back to the same shows over and over and over. For me to go watch something new, I have to have a damn good reason. And that reason usually is somebody that I deeply care about, like a close friend or or a family member. Well, close friend has asked me specifically to watch a show, usually because they're obsessed with the show and they need someone to ramble at, which I completely understand because I have asked people to watch a show so that I can ramble at them. That's about the only time I watch anything new. Otherwise,
so you mean you don't go off just the Netflix algorithm, thinks you'll like it?
I log into Netflix when somebody tells me to watch a show. That is it. I mean, I don't watch a ton of TV in general, but if I do, it's the same. It usually, like, I go back to Criminal Minds or Supernatural, the first 5 seasons. I never watch past season 5. Don't ask me why. That's where my brain says, no, I'm done. If I figure out why it does that, I'll let you know. Oh, you sound clear now.
I think I know I was setting my computer blue screen beforehand and it's reset the mic. So is this better for you guys? I assume it's better
for me.
Okay. Oh, we'll see if the recording went well or not, but we'll see after the fact. Let me just double check stream real quick. Make sure.
I know on your stream it sounded clear because I kept checking it.
Okay.
Yeah, the stream was sounding clear. It just I was having trouble hearing you back.
Yeah, I think you asked me one question and I had no idea what you said, so I made up an answer to my own question I made up.
That's fine.
You're like beer god. I'm like, I have no idea what he said. I'm just gonna say something.
There you go. That's fine. It happens.
But then when I just turned on your stream whenever you talked, and it was like you're like beautiful on the stream.
Oh well, there you go. As long as it sounds okay there, then we're all good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, but it was getting confusing.
Oh, no problem. I apologize. I thought I fixed. Well, I guess I didn't check the settings, and apparently it was on the wrong mic mix. But you're getting like a compressed version of it, which wasn't really appropriate.
Like every other word.
Yeah. Every other word, exactly. So yeah. All right, but wait. So what was the question? That's the part. Oh, the comfort show.
So
that's right.
Yes, but I had to clarify. When I say comfort show, I do not mean show that brings you comfort. I mean show that you come back to again and again because you like the familiarity of the show.
Okay, you might get hate, but I would say if I wanted to go watch something, it would be How You Met Your Mother, which is probably the worst show from the ending standpoint, but I'm not going to talk about that. But just like the progression of that show and like the friends and what they do. So that would have been mine. Like I don't know. I feel like it's just like the theme song and then just going through what happened to them week after week, and yeah, so that would be my cover. Faye, do you have one? Hey. Is it not?
So I was already saying, like, I tend to come back to things like, oh, did I?
Oh, sorry, you're telling that you come back to things that you
say my name. Sorry.
Oh, is there a delay now? You're on listening to the delay.
I got disoriented for a second. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
No, we already talked about our shows.
Oh, you did.
Tweaking
Okay.
the settings.
Well, I'll check my settings.
But I'll say it again for Ty, though. I tend to come back to things like Criminal Minds, the first 5 seasons of Supernatural.
Right.
Any anime that I watched when I was a teenager is pretty much up for, for grabs on that.
Yeah. I feel like from what Beer said, it is also when I don't have anything to watch and I don't really go back to that show as often. It's like what is recommended on Netflix. I'm like scrolling what is new, what's trending, and then find something like I wouldn't expect to find before. So, and I think it was the what was the last one? It was like I was scrolling through and I watched. Shoot, what was that show? It was a show. Oh. Now I'm escaping on what it was. Hold on, let me pull my Netflix real quick just to be like, what was that show that I just watched? Because I should remember this, but yeah, it's like just trying to find random shows to watch and like figure out which one. I was on Netflix. I think it was on Netflix. Let me look.
I feel like there's so many shows out there, and then some inner part of me has like FOMO, where I'm like, I want to try to watch everything, so I'm always trying to watch new stuff.
Oh, here, let me try one.
I did realize I did lie a little bit. New shows. I will watch any true crime doc that you put in front of me. Just any of them, all of them. Give them all to me.
Full justice.
And any woman who's in the chat will know exactly what I mean. I don't know what it is. We all have this fascination. Well, no, I do know exactly what it is, but we all have this fascination. We all watch them, even if you don't admit it.
So what was it? I'm trying to remember what I watched. Is there not a tab that tells you what you just watched, or is this continue watching? But I don't know. Sometimes I stumble on a show that kind of brings me comfort during the Netflix, which usually is like one of the real estate shows. But then literally it's like, because like there's so much drama going on like reality TV, and that's always my other spot of comfort to go and watch things per se. So like Selling Sunset, which is totally like a really overhyped show in opinion, but yeah. So those are usually the other ones I kind of go to where I need to like live my life through someone else's, or just live vicariously through someone else's life and what they're doing and how they're just entertaining. So yeah. All right. So going on to our next topic of musical adaptations. And I don't know, I guess in terms of musical background, Beer said he's not as versed in this. I don't know if you're versed in musical adaptations. And I think it kind of brought up to came into the...
Oh, I love me a good musical.
Amazing musical, there you go. It came up into the limelight of the, I guess, like, Grey's Anatomy did a full episode, which totally, and you wouldn't expect that because it's a doctor show. Why would they go into a song and dance number? And then the more recent one example was Star Trek Brave New Worlds. They did a whole musical number and like a space anomaly came in and literally like if they had some inner like emotional turmoil or something, they would sing the whole thing out, which is very interesting to see for a sci-fi show. So like, have you ever seen a show that you currently watched that you may already have as a musical adaptation, or something that you would like to see adapted into a musical that's one of your favorite shows? It's a delay, but
I mean, I know the concept of what you're talking about. I've seen several. You know what I mean? I feel like if a show's on long enough, they got to reach into like the show playbook of what different types of episodes. It's like, oh yeah, okay, a musical one, sure. I think The Office did one, maybe. I'm not sure.
Did you do one?
Anything I'm watching where I would be like dying for them to have a musical version only episode? I can't think of anything. I'm not against it. It's fun, it's something different. seems like the cast always has fun with it because it's so different.
Oh, yep. Yeah, there was one. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think anything that I personally watch ever has musicals, like a musical episode. But I like musicals.
Okay.
Like on a stage.
Off of that topic, what are your favorite musicals that I've seen? Because I think I've only seen, talk about Broadway shows, I saw Beetlejuice, I saw Chicago, I saw also Lion King and Waitress. This is where my adult age has come through. Every years, what musical are you going to see? So yeah. So what is your favorite musical so far? Hey, let's your top 3 musicals.
So I like Sweeney Todd on stage production is so much fun. Les Mis is good, but it's such a long play. And I haven't gotten to see this one, but it's on my bucket list. I want to see Wicked. It is I've been trying to see this play since I was 16 years old, and just always something happens. So, but the music is so good, and I need to see this before I die.
Gotcha. But yeah, so just going through, this is the list where actually I pulled a list of all the musical TV shows that did adapt everything. So The Flash did one, which is the superhero show, which is totally a musical number. There's things from Ally McBeal, which I don't know if you remember that show, but with Calista Flockhart and the lawyer, they did a musical. Community also did a musical, which is that. But then of course you also remember the show on the which is totally musical Glee. I think it was really popular this time too. I think because everyone loved that show. But yeah, I don't know. Also, would want to see as a musical because Office did do a musical. The most iconic one that ever was adapted was probably Buffy, because that was totally probably maybe one of the earliest ones. Maybe no. Well, no, not earliest ones, but one of the ones that are just people in the fandom remember that show when they did the musical episode too. But yeah, I guess it turns on your preference if you like things to be singing. But I would think anything from if you're watching stuff today. I guess if you saw an action, I guess this is a genre. If it's an action type TV show, or even probably if I saw Walking Dead as a musical, I would just not know what I'm watching because it'd be so left field from what the show is. So, but I don't know. I feel like they could probably do it. Anything. I mean, they could do it. I don't know how good it would be, but they could probably do it. But I don't know. I don't know what other current genre shows that that are out now that I'm currently watching. Because the one thing about me, I don't know, there's probably many people in the audience, maybe, because we definitely don't have cable TV, so anything we see is usually online anyway. So just seeing things online, I would think to see. But yeah, there could be many things that could have a musical rendition to it for sure. So. But yeah, chat. Make sure you check out some of those shows because their adaptations are very interesting to watch for sure. But yeah, all right. So we're into beer. Now you have some time to think about this. Did you come up with an AMA question?
Well, I was going to talk about my musicals, my top 3. You don't want that time?
Oh, you do? Do you have musicals? Sorry. Go ahead. You have musicals?
Yeah. So yeah, come on.
I forgot.
But I forgot about the other thing. So while I'm answering you, I'll try to think.
Okay.
Yeah. No. So when I was little, my parents took me to see Cats, and we had seats on the side of the stage, and my mom put cat face paint. So the actresses and actors thought that was cool, and they'd come up and rub noses with me. So that was pretty neat. That was that's a fun memory. I saw Phantom of the Opera in London, actually, which was really cool. That was amazing. And then I did see Wicked, which was a lot of fun. So that'd be my top 3. I can't go much deeper than that.
Disrespectful. Disrespectful. How rude.
Well,
you know what? I'll ask you guys something. I got a question. A little ask you anything.
Okay, good.
Here you go. If you could travel anywhere in the world, right? Unlimited budget. Where would you want to go? Is there some place you've always wanted to go and you've never been? It's on your bucket list.
Oh, never been. Oh,
Japan, hands down.
I feel like we had this question, so I feel like it's the same answer. I feel like Japan, also just the fact that like the culture is so different, and like even like vending machines. Swear to God, vending machines that you could find so many random things.
Excuse you, sir.
And vending machines and in Japan culture, and I think just like the cleanliness, because like it feels like it's so, Japan's just so much more cleaner than here in the US. And I feel so, the culture wise. I don't know. Hey, you want to expand more in just Japan? Or are you petting monster right now? She's like, whoa.
My dad used to travel to Japan a lot when I was a kid, and 1 second. Okay. He would come back with all these stories like I was little, and I just kind of want to go see one, how much it still is like how he described, but also to see the differences. Like my dad's the one that taught me how to use chopsticks when I was like 5, and he came back one time. He'd been gone for 2 months over there, and it was like over the summer, so all the like summer festivals were happening, and he came back with like a yukata and some tabi shoes and tabi socks for me, and it just sounded so fun. So I kind of want, I know most people are like, oh, anime culture, like I just want to see the country that my dad liked so much. So it's not really that interesting of an answer though, so
it's a legitimate answer.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh my God, Cat.
That's good.
I'm sorry. He is being clingy right now.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
We're not. Oh, we're done?
Oh, no, no, they're done. Oh, there you go. Did you know, Faye, I did put the cat ASMR clip from the last time. So I did get many views. And people were like, I guess like there's a big market for cat ASMR sounds. Like I'm just saying. So, yes. So, yeah. But yeah, in terms of Pierre, what about you though? Do you have I don't know, are you a world traveler? Do you travel a lot, or are you kind of homebody? Where would you go?
I mean a little bit. I've gone to like England and Ireland and Scotland, kind of get that area.
Ooh.
But yeah, if you want other little interesting fact about the beer god, is that my one family's claim to fame is there's a Scottish historical figure named Rob Roy. If you've ever heard of him, I don't know, give it like a 20% chance you have.
Sounds familiar.
I'm like directly related to him, and so growing up, when you're like doing family trees in school and stuff, my parents would always say, "Oh, Rob Roy," and I'd be like, "Well, that's a silly sounding name," and whatever. I never really thought much about it, and then a movie came out, Rob Roy, and Liam Neeson played Rob Roy. So all of a sudden it's cool. I'm like, oh, wow.
I actually do remember this movie. I think I do remember. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
He's kind of like he's a complicated historical figure. He's like a Robin Hood type of guy. So he's kind of a thief, but he like stole from like rich people, and or like the English who weren't really supposed to be there. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, that is cool.
But I've been there and I've seen his grave and all of that. If I could go anywhere new, maybe Australia. I feel like I just again, it's just so far.
My birth. I would want to go back there, but you're
a couple guys in college from Australia.
Yeah.
I'd like to check it out.
Yeah, I forget the delay, but yeah, Australia is where I would want to return because I was born there. But I haven't been there since I was about 9, so it's been maybe possibly over 20 years now. So it's been a while. But yeah. Most definitely that. But yeah, sounds good. So Australia is definitely a fun place to visit, and it's a long airplane ride. Let's put it that way. It's almost like a whole day.
Right. Well, not like Japan's a hop, skip, and a jump either.
Yeah, that's true. It's many hours in the other direction also. But yeah, all right. So that kind of leads into the Faye segment. So I don't know if Faye just go with a segment. Faye, here you go. This is your intro.
Hold that thought for just a second because my cat is now running out of the office.
For our captured studio audience saying. So Beard, usually there's a segment where one of the hosts kind of goes on, talks about what their kind of their fascination at the moment is, and it kind of explains it more for us. We might know anything about it, but that's why it's called the Face segment, because I have no idea. So the Face will be like, what is your cart thing right now?
So we were talking earlier about other generally the theme seems to be adaptations is what you kind of picked out this week, Ty. So I was wondering, reverse video games that y'all think would make good board games.
Board games.
Because I have the board game version of Stardew Valley, and that is a fun board game. It is a cooperative up to 4-player game. It is so fun. Also, strangely hard.
Strangely hard? Can't imagine.
Look, we literally... I brought this with me to go see the eclipse. We tried playing it on the first night, and when I tell you, we won on the very, very last turn, and only because someone got lucky. We got a lucky card draw, and that is it. It was so close.
Oh, wow.
But it was so much fun.
Let's see, so what could be? Try to think. Let's see. Because, it has to be story-based. Because I'm trying to imagine how would you even make Warzone. Because people would be like, Warzone. I'm how do you make Warzone a board game?
Do you think it has to be story-based?
Yeah.
Or let me rephrase. Why do you think it has to be story-based?
Well, maybe not. Maybe you could actually make Warzone a board game. To think about it.
I feel like if it's... Sorry.
But, I don't know. Well, yeah, go ahead. Wait, why? What's your argument making it so if it's not story-based, could it be what other genre of game? Because Stardew Valley, when you say that, I'm kind of thinking, you do a lot of things in that game. You build stuff, you farm, a lot of task-related stuff. But there's an overarching story that happens in that game, so why not, what other games? Well, here, do you have an idea? I debate and think this way.
I do. So I don't know if you're familiar with Civilization. I love Civilization. So
that one's already a board game, though.
Is it a board game?
Is it really?
Yeah, there's Civilization, the board game. And in fact, I think there's a couple iterations of it.
Clearly it would work.
Yes. Clearly it works.
Well, I didn't know that. Yeah, my son was really into Minecraft. We have a Minecraft card game, and you'd think that'd be ridiculous, but it works.
Phasmophobia.
Yeah, I didn't think about that as a card game. That's interesting.
Wait, what about Phasmophobia as a board game?
Ooh.
That could be doable. Because then I don't know how would you identify the ghost then? Because you need the clues.
I feel like it would just end up playing out similar to Clue.
Yeah, I think so. Probably doesn't need Clue. Okay, let's pick another one.
I feel like it wouldn't. I don't know. Because part of me wants to go I don't think it would translate well because of it being a horror game, but other horror board games do exist.
True, that's so true. That is a serve.
That is a good thought.
Good thought.
I'm gonna think on that one for a little while.
Could force some board game developers who can figure out how to make Phasmophobia board game. Maybe just out of
I do think half of the things that makes Phasmophobia special though is getting terrified and hiding in a closet. And I don't know how you would simulate that on a board game.
On a board game.
True.
Oh wait, this is a potential to be adapted in the board game. Oh, someone actually made one. If you actually Google it, they actually made a Phasmophobia board game. What?
Send me the link.
Okay.
I need to see this.
Hey, hold on. Oh, hold on. The Discord went to a different window. 1 moment.
Yeah. Like, I love board games. I have a whole collection. So, like, I'd also love to know, like, what y'all's favorite board games. If you say Monopoly, we are not friends.
I like a good game of Pandemic. I think Pandemic is like...
Pandemic is a great one.
Yeah. Have you heard of... Oh, good.
I want to get a group together to play Pandemic Legacy. Because I feel like if you're going to play Pandemic Legacy, you should play with the same group over and over. You know what Pandemic Legacy is, right?
Yeah, but explain it for the audience out there.
So typically, you know, your board game, you play it, and when you reset, it starts fresh. In Pandemic Legacy, changes will happen throughout the game, and they are permanent. So the next time you play the game, the changes that happened still are in place. You can lose access to certain roles, like, for example, like the medic might get killed off. So now from there forward, anytime you play, you do not have a medic. People can gain abilities, lose abilities, etc., etc. So because the changes are permanent and the people who played the prior game are going to be the ones who remember the changes being made, I think it's a game that's best played with the same group of friends each iteration. And I think it's even designed where you're supposed to play it like 6 or 8 times, something like that, for like the full effect.
That's a good one for sure. Yeah,
I would definitely like to get a group together to do that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. It's just finding, you know, 3 to 5 adults who can consistently meet up. It's like there's a reason adults don't get to play D&D very often, and it's the same problem.
True that. Scheduling. It's scheduling. Yes, exactly. Are you at all board game, or what is your stance on board games?
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of a game called Axis and Allies. That's a World War II game.
Heard it.
That people get pretty into. But man, I used to love playing that. Again, it's like a time commitment, and it's like a million little pieces. But that's my favorite. I end up playing board games with the kids that are more the simple variety. You know, a lot of Monopoly. But as far as me, it'd be probably Axis and Allies.
Gotcha. The only other one I am really like on my shelf right now that I really would love to play is probably the Star Wars one. But the Star Wars one is like, to describe it's like battles. So like you have ships, you have to go from here to here. You play against the Empire and the Rebels, and you have certain like things where you need to like attack them and then roll die. It's very involved. Like, it's not like a game you can sit down and play.
Wait,
for like...
is this a board game, or is this the one with the models? It's like a tabletop war game.
I think a tabletop war game, actually.
Okay, yeah. I know which one you're talking about then.
Yeah.
I think it's called X-Wing.
Is it? Hold on. I think because mine was Rebellion. Let me look this up again. Just to be sure.
I am like vaguely familiar of the word games, but I don't play them. I just had an ex who did.
This was not a tabletop. So it's actually like a gigantic like planet system. So like one big board, but it does use tiny models to go. So it's not X-Wing, but it is Star Wars Rebellion. So you're the Empire or the Rebellion in that game.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right. So conclude the Faye segment. It's a very short segment this week then.
I mean, if you want me to go on a tangent about board games, I can. Do you really want to try that?
I will. Oh, I will. Go ahead. What's your tangent? Go. Tangent it up.
Like, I have so many board games. Let me tell you about them.
Okay.
Okay. So, Fear, you said you have kids, and it sounds like you're getting tired of Monopoly. May I recommend some board games to you that are kid-friendly, but also much more interesting? How old are we talking here? Let's start there.
12 and 15.
Oh, perfect. Do they like Japan? Let's start there, because that will give me a suggestion.
I don't know if they have a strong opinion one way or another.
Okay, so if you're trying to get kids into board games, I recommend Tokaido. It's a fun one. It's the most cutthroat Zen game you're ever gonna play. It's the ultimate game of leapfrog. There are no dice to roll in this game. Whoever's at the back of the line gets to go next. And the goal is to have the best journey across Japan. So you earn points depending on the different things you do, and there's different characters that you get to play as. What character you are determines your special ability and how much money you start with. For example, there's like the little orphan girl. She starts with only 2 gold. She's the poorest person, but she gets to eat food for free. And every time you eat food, it's 6 points. So she just gets 6 points every time she stops at an inn. There's the geisha, and I think she just makes friends very easily, and friends like will do random things because you draw from a card stack for them. And like I think there's like 10 different characters that you can possibly, each one has their thing. A lot of fun.
Hey, can you spell it?
Like you Tokaido.
Okay, good. Sorry, continue.
They so you'll have things where like, because you're, you know, the painter, getting paintings is more easy for you, so you might want a gun for the paintings, but also you know that, you know, this person over here doesn't have any money, and there's a thing coming up where you could step on it and block them from getting money. You'd give up a painting, but then you keep them from being able to buy stuff, but so it starts getting a little cutthroat, and it's fun. Yeah. But it's like cute at the same time. So I always recommend that one. Betrayal at the House on the Hill is always a fun, popular one since they're a little older. It starts off as kind of like a Scooby-Doo kind of, let's just explore this creepy looking mansion type thing. And then like about halfway through the game, an event happens. It's called The Haunt. And depending on a combination of what card was pulled and what room was just discovered, you have like one of 50 different scenarios you might be playing. So it's got lots of replayability. And when you reveal the scenario, you also reveal if there's a traitor, and if so, who is it? So there's like 2 sets of books, and the traitor will like leave the room for a bit so that the other people can like huddle and discuss. And then you come back in, and it's like kind of asymmetric, which is good for like older kids. You kind of get your little secretness.
Sure.
Yeah, those are the 2 for like people coming into board games, or like trying to get out of like the Hasbro realm.
Hasbro.
I recommend. Look,
we played a lot of Exploding Kittens. Love Exploding Kittens.
One.
That one's okay.
That's okay. Gotcha.
I've heard good things about Settlers of Catan, but I've never played it. What's your opinion there?
It's a solid game for sure. A lot of people don't want to play it because it's a bit overplayed, because for a long time that was the intro to real board games. But it was that for a reason. It's very solid. So if you've never played, it's easy enough you could pick it up without having to have someone teach it to you, and intricate enough to where you don't feel like you're just like blind luck rolling dice, which is my normal complaint with a lot of the Hasbro games, is that there's no skill, it's just dice.
Yep.
Sure.
It's like when you play Monopoly and it's with your family, and then it gets to the point where like, we're not gonna win, so just count and stop, and you just count your money and be like, who's got more money? And that's pretty much it by that point. But yeah, because like they were so Winter and the kids were playing, and I was upstairs, so then I kind of like stopped by a couple of times to see, and then like they were like, yeah, one kid was already out, so it's just her and the other kid, and then like they're just like going back and forth, and this is like, it was Monopoly, but it's the the llamas and unicorn, and apparently it's like designed to force you to work together rather than kind of cut for each other. But then they just gave up after a time. It's like, okay, we're not gonna win, so we're just gonna count who had more money, and that was the winner at that point. But yeah, I say Monopoly, right? How much skill? It's just a way to divide families, make secret deals on the side, and try to win and course your way to the top. That's pretty much it.
I mean, I call Monopoly the friendship ender, so
yeah.
Like, I don't feel like anything good comes out of playing that game. It wasn't like, do y'all know Monopoly was not designed to be a board game first and foremost? Its original design was to show the fundamental flaws of capitalism. Like, it was designed to piss people off. That was its purpose. And then Hasbro brought the rights to it and tried to turn it into the family game night game.
Oh, dang. Okay. And yeah, there you go. More you know. The more you know. All right. So we'll kind of end it on that. But then before we head out for closing remarks, Beer, where do we find you? I know it's not on Twitch, even though we're using Stream Together, so that Twitch name. You're primarily on Kick, right?
Yeah, Kick. Kick.com, beer_god_apostle. Pretty much every night, 10 p.m. Eastern to midnight. And then, if I can sneak a little time in during the day, during the week, I do.
There we go. All right. Then before we end, the last thing is kind of like a summary. I'd like to say, like, well, is anything making you happy this week, or like maybe it could be something you're watching, something you did. It could be anything. Kind of just like share it to kind of end on like a positive note to that. So like, I think for me, probably it's still the job. So like, I feel like just getting back into it, getting to the work, getting back to like doing things that I'm accustomed to doing, using my time for that has been making me pretty, good. So like, cause like, it's like back to normalcy after being off work for a couple months. So that's definitely making me happy. Also, again, I always comment this. It's kind of a really funny trend every time. Also making me happy. I was watching Star Trek Discovery, but Star Trek Discovery is in their final season. I'm a big Star Trek nerd myself, so I like watching Star Trek. So those two things. But Beer, go ahead. Anything making you exciting and happy?
Yeah, sure. In general, from a Call of Duty perspective, Rebirth Island's back, so that's a good sense of joy because it was a really fun map and one of the first ones, to play. So nostalgia.
I saw some of your old clips too on Twitch. We've been watching them. I was like, yep, those are the original ones from Rebirth. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, awesome. And then from a sports fan perspective, the NFL draft is going on this weekend, so that's when every team has a sense of hope for the upcoming season. So it's going on right now, literally right now. So it's a fun little escape for an NFL fan.
All right, and Faye, anything exciting this week?
I've been spending more time actually like connecting with some friends offline. Like mostly text calls and things like that because most of my friends don't live in Texas, but it's been nice getting to talk to people outside of just in my computer and in my box. So look, anybody who's been a gamer for long enough, you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes when I'm talking to people in the box for too long, I almost forget that there's a person on the other end. So like being able to like have phone calls and like actually connect as people and not just as gamers. It's been really nice.
Nice. Makes sense.
Sure.
All right. So to close out, it is the theme was pretty much adaptations. I don't know how I came up with that. It's kind of randomly, just like all the questions popped in. I was like, musicals, video game adaptations, Marvel and such there.
I definitely liked having a theme made coming up with something for the question easier.
Oh, there you go. Well, there you go. But yeah, so we'll be back next month. Thanks to Beer again for being here.
Yep. Well, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Nice. And thank you, Faye, also for joining co-host again. So I appreciate you. As always, more applause. Okay. All right. And I'll just wrap it up so that we'll be on Spotify. We have Spotify, so it'll be on YouTube. The recording will be on YouTube. So make sure you check it out. TPP Podcast. And we'll see you next month.